All right, how's it going? So several weeks back, I posted a video of when I bought my brand new 2018 Fiesta ST, and as you can see here, it's been a couple thousand miles, and I thought I'd give a few thoughts of what I think of the car as a new owner of this car, someone who hasn't owned a new car ever before and hasn't had a modern car, in a while. My next newest car before this is a 2001 Mustang, and so I thought I'd give some thoughts. Just like a quick initial review, what, I think after the first couple thousand miles. Initial opinion is this is a really, really fun car. It is a cheaper model. The Fiesta is an economy car. It is supposed to be an economically affordable model, and this is the sporty version of that model. So, there are things like it's very small. Of course, it is a compact car. It's hard to fit adults comfortably, but they do fit in the backseat. Things like if it weren't for the 2018 having the backup camera, it would be a little bit awkward backing up the car because it does kind of taper. The small rear window makes it a little bit difficult sometimes, and the rear quarter windows are a bit of a joke. Overall, the visibility is good, except for, like I said, the backing up, but it does have the backup camera, so really no worries there. And I love the backup camera. It does have the lines and such, even the turning lines, if you can see them in there, to assist parking, and they're pretty accurate. I usually don't bring it into the yellow, the red there, unless I'm really trying to nudge something in, but I do use the yellow. Sound system is actually pretty decent, it's really not bad, especially for speakers that aren't anything too crazy. I know the Focus comes with the 10 speaker, at least Focus ST, and maybe the higher trim levels of the non-turbo as well. Comes with a 10 speaker Sony, blah blah blah. It has a sub in the trunk and all that. This car does not. It has pretty basic, it's got a door in, or a speaker in each door, and then it does have tweeters up on the doors as well here, which I do wish they were up on the dash. It would provide a little bit better balance in the sound, but it's not bad at all. Another thing I do find a little awkward is the dome light. Well, the primary dome light isn't where you'd expect it in the middle of the car here, but it's way back directly above the rear seat. And what you get in the front is the little map lights, which they look a little bit dull in sunlight, but they're decently bright in the daylight. Another thing about the cheaper model, this is the headliner, and it's a little, I wouldn't say cheap feeling, but it is a light car. As long as it doesn't fall down on me someday, I'm fine with that. It's got all the features you'd expect from a modern car. It's got Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are both on this car if you so wish. It has the sync system, which is basically Ford's. You got your, if you want the radio and all that, and if you want to hook up your phone with it and do all that stuff, you can load other apps on here. I only really have, I don't even think the weather. No, I won't mess with that right now. Whoa, it's talking at me.
Location services to update the weather as you drive.
There you go. It's got the talk.
Please say a command.
The voice command capability and all that stuff. The touchscreen isn't actually bad at all. I have a couple friends that have older Fiestas, like 2014 Fiesta STs and such, and their opinion was their screen felt a little bit laggy. I don't know if that was more because of the age of the car or the mileage. Mine doesn't feel like that, personally. It could be an updated screen. I do think the software is a little bit different because his does look different from mine. The colors and such is a little bit different. And 4 years difference in a model year car, that would make some sense that they would update some stuff. Climate control is good. There's nothing wrong with the heater, the AC, or anything like that. It's got automatic climate control. If you want to put it to all that, you can set your temperature and all that stuff. One thing that I just noticed just now, for instance, I have to go to Men's Warehouse, get my suit jacket adjusted, and I went to go, any other car, you open the back seat and you go to put it up on the hook. That's not there. And I think I'd made the observation before, but there are no grab handles in this car at all. Front, driver, passenger, rear, nothing. There are no handles, and which is something that I didn't actually observe when I first got the car, I will admit. You can call me ignorant if you want, I don't know. I guess I just missed it. I know the Focus has that. Maybe the driver's doesn't, but the driver doesn't really need when they have the steering wheel and such. But it was something that kind of bummed me out a little bit, especially having no place to hang my stuff if I need it. Now, the other option maybe would be to use the hatch, which you can, I guess, maybe, sort of. It does have the little like grocery bag hooks back here, and the floor of course does drop down to the next level there, but it's not tall enough to hang a whole suit jacket like the back seat would be. So again, I was a little bit bummed about that. So that is an annoying point. But if you're gonna be hauling a bunch of stuff in a car like this, you should be getting a bigger car anyway, like the Focus. So again, not really something I'm too bummed out about, just a little bit. That one annoyed me a little bit more so than like the AC thing. But that little bit did annoy me a little bit. You know, we got another cup holder back here and a phone charger, and it's pretty cool. I think there are 5 cup holders. So, no, there are 5 cup holders total in this car. 2 in the center console, 1 in each front door, and then 1 in the passenger side, or the rear seat area. And they're all decent size. They easily fit any standard size water bottle, even, you know, they don't fit like a big gulp or like a fat Gatorade or something. You know, but again, small car. One thing that I thought Ford kind of dropped the ball on was, you know, most cars will have like a little change thing, or like cars don't have ashtrays per se anymore, but they have something. And what this car has is this, get the lighting here, this dinky little tray. And it's quite shallow. You see, it's not even as long as my finger. And it doesn't, like, you could put your keys there, but there's no lip, and it's not angled enough to where they'll stay there. If I gas it just a little bit, my keys end up in my shifter boot. I could put my keys down here, but that's usually where I put my phone when I plug it in. So, you know, usually I'll have my keys in my pocket anyway, but if I want to put something down there in general, that has to be the cup holder or where I put my phone, because that is pretty much 100% useless unless I'm not driving and I just have something small to put there. So that's a little bit annoying. I think they could have made that at least a little bit deeper and wider too, because this is, you know, like I can't even get like it's only like maybe 2.5 to 3 inches deep and about 4 or 5 inches wide. It just kind of seems dumb. You know, glove box is smallish, no issues there. It's a smallish car, whatever. I do know that on earlier models of Fiestas, such as my friend that I mentioned, he actually has, you know, Fiestas do actually have the mood lighting, which, see if I can show you here. You know, you have the cup holder lighting, which is different colors. You can change it with the light, you know, a lot of fun there. And they're also in the footwells, which I don't think you can see in the daytime here. But on the older models, apparently they also had a light in this little lip here, this little kind of cubby recess thing, which there's nothing here on the, I think, 17 and up cars. They deleted a bunch of stuff, one of those being the neat little, you see this little keyhole looking space in the side of the glove box. And then there's also a couple slots up here. You can't see them, but they're kind of way up there. There's a couple slots in the back side of the glove box as well. Now, what those originally were for are, there was a pen holder, a little clip that popped into this little hole, and you could, you know, just have a pen just right there, you know, instead of, you know, whenever you want a pen, instead of digging around down here and stuff, it was right there. And then the strap in the back, or the slots in the back here actually had an elastic strap for your fat little booklet for your owner's manual and such, and it would hold it up away so you could have other more important stuff easier, like if you want your glasses in there, not getting them smashed, there you go. You can keep the heavy thing up out of the way. And they deleted that, and you can't actually get the parts either. I found out all of that has been discontinued on, I think, 2017 and up cars, which is a little annoying because that was a cool little thing you don't see on a lot of cars, you know, a little cool little convenience that I looked at a video that a guy said, oh, Fiestas do this, blah, blah, blah. That's how I found out about the hill assist for, you know, when you're stopped on a hill. So basically, if the incline is enough, like I said, I'll see if I can get it to work. So if you're stopped at, like, say, a stop sign or something, you got your foot on the brake, and you're gonna put it in first gear. and you're gonna go. You'd expect the car to roll, right? This car, if I can get it to do it, yes, there you go. My foot is off the brake. I'll do it again. So you're at a stop sign. You know, the car goes ahead of you, and so it's your turn to go. You put the car, foot is on the brake already. You're not using, you know, the handbrake or anything like that. Foot is on the foot brake. You put the clutch in, put it in gear, let your foot off the brake. The car does not roll for 3 seconds. It holds the brake for you. See that? So that's a neat thing. A lot of modern cars do have that as well. And that's a nice little thing that this car does have. I personally am pretty experienced with driving sticks. It's not something I really, really need, but sometimes it's nice to just have that little bit of extra convenience. Anyways, that was just a little bit of a initial review of the car. I love it. It's super fun. The handling is awesome. I don't actually find myself really wanting for much in terms of modifying this car, or hardly at all. I have a ton of fun with it, and I hope to have a lot of more fun with it in the future. Obviously, I'm paying for this car, so it's gonna stick around for a heck of a long time, and should be a lot of fun. Gets good gas mileage. It's got great safety rating, all that. You can fit people in it. If you're not hauling a bunch of adults, in which case, if you are planning on hauling a bunch of adults, you should get a different car anyway. That's not really a huge need for me in my life, so I was able to get this car. It's really fun. Maybe in the future, maybe do some different brake pads or something like that. I know a lot of people do that. When that time comes, this car obviously has the brake actuated limited slip. It's not really a limited slip. It uses the brakes to go back and forth. It's complicated. It's called torque vectoring. Look it up. Maybe in a future video I can go over that. But it uses the front brake pads a lot, so which is why you get all this brake dust. This is actually adhesive that I never cleaned off. Again, like I said, I didn't wash the car. That's from delivery on the car. I need to scrub that off. It's on all four wheels. It's a little annoying, but yeah, car's been great fun, and I do like it quite a bit. There's just a few of those little things that I thought were could have been improved on the car, but it doesn't really matter, at least for the U.S. market, because this is the last model year we will ever get the Ford Fiesta that we know of. Ford has discontinued the Ford Fiesta after this model year, which is different from the 2018 model year of other markets, which is the new chassis with the new 3-cylinder and all that. We will not get that car in the US. For whatever reason, Ford decided to actually discontinue their passenger car sales in the US, and they're going to be phasing out all models of passenger cars that are not trucks or SUVs in the next 5 years or so, I think they said. Which is a bit of a bummer. I can kind of see why they're doing it. I'm not sure I totally agree with it. Cars like this are great. This is really one of the last great simple performance cars that we're gonna see probably for a long time. A lot of people say that about a lot of cars, but that's because it is becoming true. Things like the Dodge Hellcat and Demon and all that, you're not gonna see those cars in the next 5 years. It's just not going to happen. There's a reason we don't have muscle cars like these anymore, or like this. And maybe in my next video I'll talk about that. That's not mine, that's my roommate's, but got some other news. You might notice this is a different driveway too. I'll talk more about that in the next video. But yeah, for now, thank you very much. If you haven't, you can follow me on Instagram right here. I post stuff, regularly about my cars and other stuff. You can get more updates on stuff there. And yeah, I hope you like, comment, subscribe, all that. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.
Later.